Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another one of my videos. Today I will be talking about DePaul University's men's basketball team and how they've had a lot of past success, but as of the present, they have been in a constant cycle of mediocrity. To give some background information on DePaul, they've been to 22 NCAA tournaments, the most recent being in 2004. They've been to 10 Sweet 16s, the most recent being 1987. They've been to 3 Elite Eights, the most recent being 1979, and 2 Final Fours. The first one was in 1943, and the second one was in 1979. To start off, DePaul basketball was an independent team, known conference, but then they moved into the Great Midwest Conference, which eventually in 1995 merged with another conference to become the Conference USA, which is what a conference is now. They decided to move to the Big East in 2005. Their best head coach was Ray Meyer, who's in the College Basketball Naismith Hall of Fame. He was a legendary head coach. He was really good. To give some stats, he coached from 1942 to 1984 for 42 years. That is insane how long he was there. He coached DePaul to 13 of their 22 NCAA tournament appearances. He led them to a number 1 seed for 3 years in a row in 1980, 1981, and 1982. And after he was done coaching in 1984, his son took over, who was an assistant under him for 11 years. His son became the coach from 1985 to 1997 and led them to 7 more NCAA tournament appearances. With all of that very rich history of DePaul basketball, it came to an end. That's why I'm making that video. And I'm going to say it first came to an end when they joined the Big East in 2005. It wasn't just them moving conferences which caused the issue, I believe. I think it was their current head coach, Dave Vietto, who was their coach from 2000, who started off in 2002. He led them to an NCAA tournament appearance in 2004, which was their final one. And he left to coach the University of Virginia in 2005, which was coincidentally the year they decided to join the Big East. After Coach Theato left in 2005, their first year in the Big East, they had Coach Jerry Wainwright, who was hired to replace Theato. In his first year, it was not very good. They went 12-15 overall and 5-11 in the conference, which was the Big East instead of the Conference USA, which they used to be in. So they finished 13, not a very good start at all, but it was their first year, so it's excusable and just improve the next year. And the next year they did improve a lot. They finished 20-14 and 9-7 in the Big East, which resulted in them being in 8th. So, I mean, they improved a lot, so it was good. Then, unfortunately, it ended, and in the next year, 2007, they finished 11-19 and 6-12 in the Big East. It only got worse from there for Coach Wainwright, as in 2008, DePaul went 9-24 and 0-18 in the Big East, dead last. They didn't even win a conference game at all. That's horrible. 2009, they were 8-23, so they had one less win than they did the year before. But they did get one Big East win. They went 1-17. Horrible still. Which led to Coach Wainwright not returning to coach the next year. Following Coach Wainwright's 59-80 record over his 5-year span, DePaul decided to hire Oliver Purnell as their head coach. In his first season, Coach Purnell went 7-24 overall, the conference record of 1-17. That isn't good. I mean, it's his first year, you know. He still has all of Wainwright's players who clearly weren't good at all. So let's just see how their next season goes. His next season in 2011, they went 12-19 and 3-15 in the Big East, which is a lot better than the previous year. In 2012, Coach Purnell went 11-21, so not good at all still. Just chilling there in the 12-11 win range in his first 2 years. He went 2-16 in the conference play that year. 2013, which was the first year of the restructured Big East, they went 12-21, again in that 11-12 win range, with 3-15 record in the Big East, not good. In 2014, the DePaul went 12-20 and 6-12 in the Big East, which was Coach Purnell's last year. He was fired. Guess who returns to Coach DePaul? Coach Dave Vietto, the coach who led them to their last NCAA tournament appearance in 2004. But this time around, it was a struggle bus, definitely, for DePaul. His first season back, in 2015, DePaul went 9-22. His second year, in 2016, they went 9-23. 2017, they went 11-20. 2018, they went 19-17, which was actually over 500 for the first time since the 2006 season, 11 years. In 2019, though, that year I remember particularly because DePaul started off 12-0 in non-conference play. They lost to Buffalo, and then it was just downhill. The Big East year, they went 3-15. They ended up finishing 16-16. Then COVID hit in the 2020 season, which led to DePaul. They missed a lot of games. They had a lot of COVID issues, and they finished the year 5-14, so not good at all. And then Coach Theato got fired again. Not again, he wasn't fired the first time, but he was fired this time. During that span, between 2005-2006 season and the 2020-2021 season, DePaul went 183 wins to 312 losses, which is a winning percentage of .369. That's horrible. And their conference record was even worse. It was 57-224, which was a winning percentage of .203. Again, that's just brutal. And it's not like DePaul was recruiting horrible players. They were getting pretty decent players. And the class of 2019 recruiting class, they were ranked 34th nationally and 3rd in the Big East. But those years after, they finished 10th in the Big East, 11th in the Big East. After that recruiting class, they weren't getting any better, and only one of those players is still on the team currently. Also sprinkled into those bad years, they had 2 players who are currently in the NBA or in the G League. Paul Reed and Max Strus. Will things be any different in the future? We don't know. DePaul hired prior to this year, DePaul had hired Tony Stubblefield to be their head coach. It's too early to tell whether he's better or worse or the same as Dave Vietto or any of the others, because they are 500 right now, but they're none of his players at all, so we don't know anything. Now to conclude this video, I will say, I have some questions that for you to answer in the comments, or myself. My first question is, was joining the Big East the right move for DePaul? You can answer in the comments right now. I, in my opinion, would say it was at the time because they joined in 2005, and that is when the downfall started. So how would they have known that without joining the Big East? Second question is, should DePaul leave the Big East and join a conference such as the American Athletic Association? I mean, you could consider it, looking at it the way they've been playing the past 15 years or so, that could be similar. They could do pretty average or well in that conference. My final question for you all to answer in the comments or think about is, will Tony Stubblefield lead DePaul back to where they were in the 20th century and first few years of the 21st century? What do you think about it? You can comment. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. It would mean a lot. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm just trying to get my channel started, so it's great that you guys are watching. Thank you.